Mindful Yoga Floor Series. To prepare for the floor sequences, again you'll want to have a mat or towels, something that allows you to feel comfortable on the floor. And you may also want to have an extra blanket or pillow in case you need one for any lower back considerations. So we will begin resting on the floor with the legs extended out from the hips, the hands resting on the floor, palms turned up toward the ceiling. Now, as you come into this supine position, if you feel any tension at all in your lower back, then bend the knees and let the soles of the feet rest on the mat. And take just a moment now and begin to feel the breath moving. Notice where in the body the breath is. And gently begin to bring your awareness into your back body. Really feel yourself resting on the floor, and as best you can, begin to allow the back body to soften, to really release into the support of the floor. Now, it may be the case there are some areas of your body that are just not able to relax, and that's fine. But just notice where they are and see what it's like to move the breath into those areas of the body. And if it's appropriate and comfortable for your body, extending the legs long and sweeping the arms up over the head so that the arms are resting on the floor by your ears, and begin to lengthen through your fingertips. Really extend the arms away from your belly and at the same time begin to extend the balls of the feet away from the hips. So rather than pointing the toes, which can cause cramping, really open through the balls of your feet. So it's like you could make your body very, very long and continue to feel the breath as you take note of what it is like to lengthen the body in this way. And then soften the hands, soften the feet so that you're no longer consciously extending the body long. You're just resting on the floor with the arms still over the head. And notice how you feel. Notice if there are sensations in the body after that extension. And then bring the arms down so they're extending out from the shoulders, and that they're making 90-degree angles with your waist, so they're extending directly out from the shoulder sockets, with the palms facing down, and bend your knees so that the soles of the feet are again resting on the floor. The feet will be underneath the knees, about hip width apart. We'll just take a few minutes now with some pelvic rocks to really begin to wake up that spine. So allowing your lower back to press into the floor as you lift your sits bones or your buttocks away from the floor about 2 inches, so it's not very far. Then slowly let the sits bones or the buttocks drop down into the mat, and let that lower back very gently arch up through the belly and reverse the curve. Let the lower back sink into the floor. Lift the buttocks gently away from the mat and then drop the buttocks heavily into the floor and let the lower back arch up through the belly. Taking just a few moments now, at a pace that feels good in your body, rocking back and forth, and remembering that we're not striving in this practice. We're simply coming to our edge, exploring the sensations in the body. Feeling the breath move and noticing, can you actually begin to feel a difference in the experience of your spine? And then let the spine come back into neutral, pausing here for just a moment. And bring both knees up toward your belly and give your knees a nice big hug. With the knees hugged into the belly, Breathe into the belly so that the belly begins to expand towards the thighs. Let the neck be soft if you find any tension there. And then holding on to the right knee, keep the right knee close to your belly and then stand the left foot back onto the floor. So the left knee is pointing toward the ceiling. Breathing into that right hip, noticing the sensations. Noticing if you are standing into your left foot in such a way that your left buttock is actually lifting off the floor. If so, best you can, let that left buttocks be heavy. And now with an inhalation, let's extend the right leg up toward the ceiling so that the sole of the foot is pointing directly towards the sky. Very gently begin to extend up through the right heel, so the right heel begins to lengthen towards the ceiling, and the right toes begin to drop back toward your belly. Notice what happens in your calf. And notice if in the left leg you're standing in such a way that the left buttocks is coming off the floor. And let that buttocks be heavy, so you're really rooted down through your hips. And then you're extending up through your right leg. Similarly, bring the awareness into the shoulders and the neck, and if you detect any extra tension holding there, see if you can let it go. Taking your arms up towards that right leg and holding on to the calf or behind the knee or behind the thigh, wherever your arms can reach, and continue to lengthen that leg up. And as you begin to feel space in that right hip, you can gently coax the right leg toward you fully. Again, not forcing yourself, not being violent with the body, but just gently waiting for the opening. Continuing to breathe, notice what may be happening in your jaw. And if there is tension in your jaw, see if that's really helping you open the back of that right leg. And then let's bend the right knee down toward the belly once again, hugging it in toward the torso. And we'll extend the left leg long. The left leg is now extended on the floor, and begin to reach through the heel of the left foot. The back of the left leg becomes very active as the right knee is gently being coaxed up towards the heart. Let the breath flow smoothly and just notice your body. What are the sensations? Where are they? Are they easy or intense? Are they constant or do they change from moment to moment? Now this next variation, I would rather you not do if you have any neck problems. If you have any neck problems at all, then just continue to hug that right knee in toward your belly with your head resting on the floor. If you don't have any neck problems that you're aware of, then hugging the belly into your center so you feel kind of strong right there in your core. Inhale, slowly lift the head toward your right knee. A little bit of a belly strengthener as you continue to extend through the left heel. Remember to breathe. Sometimes you'll be shaking in parts of the body we haven't used very much, and that's just fine. What is the shaking like if it's present? Then inhaling And with an exhalation, place the head back down if you're doing that variation, and bring the left knee up towards your belly and hug both knees in toward your center with a nice, full breath. Now allow the right foot to drop down onto the floor. The right knee is bent up towards the ceiling, and you're still holding your left knee in towards your belly. Watching the sensations you hold in your left hip, notice if there's any tightness in the belly. And like before, notice if you're standing into your right foot in such a way that your right buttocks come off the floor. See if you can let that go as you're really anchored down through the hips. And with an inhalation, slowly extend the left leg up towards the ceiling so that the heel is really reaching up away from your hip. The toes are gently dropping down towards your belly, so the back of the leg is nice and active. Notice what's going on in your right foot. Notice if there's tightening or clenching, sometimes a way of trying to move away from intensity. See if you can just soften into the posture and soften into the breath. And then taking your arms up to hold on to your calf or behind your left knee or behind the left thigh, wherever your arms are comfortable. And if you can't reach that leg at all with your arms, you may want to try taking an old tie and taking it around the sole of your left foot so that it extends your arms a little bit. Another variation you might want to explore. Continuing to lift up the left heel, down through the left hip, scanning the back with your eyes. Notice if they're tight or constricted. And now we'll bend the left knee back into the belly, hugging it in toward our center, and extend the right leg long onto the floor, lengthening through the right heel. The toes gently begin to move back toward the right knee. As we take this just a bit deeper into the hip and the buttocks. Again, noticing the sensations wherever they may be. Noticing if there is a liking or a disliking of the posture. So whatever the experience is, just paying attention. And again, for those of you not working with particular neck problems, you'd like this next variation. Hugging the belly into your center, inhaling, and on exhalation, slowly lift the forehead toward your left knee. The right heel continues to extend. Be really conscious of the belly. Really let the belly support you so that you're not doing all of it in your shoulders and your neck. Inhaling, and on the exhalation, come on back down with the shoulders and the head to rest on the floor, and bring the right knee up toward your center. Hug both knees in towards your belly once again. Take a nice deep breath into the belly, and then rolling onto one side, coming onto your hands and knees, doing this in a way that is safe and appropriate to your body. And as we come onto our hands and knees, the hands will be directly underneath the shoulders, the knees directly underneath the hips, which allows the spine to have sufficient room to lengthen. So take a couple of moments to explore what we call cat's breath. With an inhalation, slowly lift your tailbone, your buttocks up toward the ceiling. Let the spine lengthen down toward your belly, toward the floor. Lift the crown of the head up toward the sky. And then with an exhalation, tuck your tailbone under the spine up towards the ceiling and release the head down like a Halloween cat. And then inhale, lift the tailbone up like a dog wagging its tail. Let the spine lengthen down through the front body towards the earth. Extend the head up, and with an exhalation, tuck the tailbone. Lift the spine through the back body toward the sky. Drop the head and again inhale, feeling yourself open the front body with the inhalation. And with the exhalation, closing the front body as you open the back body. And take just a few minutes here at a pace that feels suitable for your body, being careful not to sway the lower back too far down when you lift the tailbone. Really concentrate on lengthening the spine as much as arching it. And then come back into the neutral position, taking a nice full breath, just noticing how the spine feels. Now we'll explore a balance pose on our hands and knees. Slowly inhale the right arm up so that it's reaching out by the right ear parallel to the floor, palm facing down. And with an exhalation, extend those fingertips far away so that the right arm is lengthening out of the shoulder socket. Now the weight of the body is in the left hand and the two knees. Now with your inhalation, we're going to lift the left leg back behind the body. And with an exhalation, lengthen through the ball of the foot so that we have diagonal behind the body. The right arm is lengthening out by the right ear. The left leg is lengthening directly back from the left hip. So it's as if those right fingertips and that left foot could lengthen away from each other. Breathing, noticing what's happening in your body, noticing sensations, steadiness, wobbliness. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhalation, come back down. Release the hand under the shoulder, release the knee under the hip, and just notice your back. What do you feel? If there's any point during the posture that you need to leave the posture sooner than I suggest, then please feel free to do so. Always respecting your limits, whatever they are. Now let's try the other side. On the inhalation, lengthen that left arm forward by the left ear. And on the exhalation, extend the fingertips away so that you're lengthening the right arm out of the shoulder. And with your next inhalation, lift the right leg back, extending directly out of the hip. And with the exhalation, reach through the ball of the foot. So the belly, the arm, and the leg are all on one plane. You don't need to lift them any higher than the torso. For the next moment, really see what it's like to extend from your center across the diagonal through the back body. Nice, full breaths. Breathing in, and on the exhalation, allow the hand to come down, the knee to come down. And with a nice full breath, just soften out of the pose. So now we're going to lower down onto the belly. You're resting on your front body. Turn your head to one side so you're resting on a cheek, and bring your hands back by your hips. Your palms are facing the ceiling. Now, if you are feeling any discomfort in your wrist from those hands and knees postures, then just simply make fist with your hands and tuck those knuckles in toward your inner wrist. That often will help release any pressure in the wrist. Take a moment and really allow the front body to sink into the floor. Rolling over onto your right side, extend the right arm out so that it's again up by your ear, and just let your right ear rest on your upper right arm. The left hand is on the floor down in front of the heart, and the hips are stacked so that the left leg is resting on top of the right leg. With an inhalation, we'll slowly begin to extend the left leg up and out of the hip so that the knee continues to face in the same direction as the belly button. And as we lift the left leg up, see what happens if you extend through your right heel. Sometimes there's a little bit of balance challenge in this posture, so if you find yourself a little wobbly, just notice the wobbling. And then inhaling, and on the exhalation, release that left leg back down onto the floor and roll back onto your belly. Hands down by your hips, palms facing the floor. Take your forehead onto the floor as well, so that the back of the neck stays nice and long. Bringing your awareness now into the sole of your left foot and into your pubis bone, dropping yourself heavy down through the pubis. With an inhalation, lengthen the left back and up, directly out of the hip. Now remembering that it does not come very high. Come into a place that is comfortable for you. And as you lengthen through the ball of the left foot, you let the right hip be soft and heavy. So the right side of the body is quiet. The left side of the lower body is very active. Noticing the breath, inhaling, and on the exhalation, allow that leg to float all the way back down to the floor, taking a nice releasing breath. And now rolling over onto your left side, extend the left arm out from the shoulder so that you can rest your left ear on your upper left arm. The right hand is on the floor in front of your belly or your heart. The hips are stacked so that your right leg is resting on top of your left leg. And when you're ready, inhaling the right leg up and out, lengthening it out at the hip. So again, that knee continues to be facing the same direction as your belly button. Rather than rolling the thigh toward the ceiling, keep the thigh forward. You may want to see what it's like to reach through your left heel, watching sensations come and go, feeling the breath, inhaling, and on the exhalation, release the leg down and roll over onto your belly, hands back by your hips, palms facing down. Turn your forehead so it's resting on the mat as well, dropping your weight down through the pubis. Inhale, lengthening the right leg back and up, reaching out of the ball of the foot. Allow the left hip as best you can to be soft. Again, watch if there is desire to want to really lift that leg high. And remembering we're not here to accomplish anything. We're just exploring the body in its natural limit. Inhale. And on the exhalation, release that leg down and take a nice full breath. And now bring the hands up underneath the shoulders, palms facing down, elbows hugging your ribs. And again, we're going to drop the pubis into the floor. Foreheads resting on the mat. Prepare for the cobra posture. So extending back through the inner seams of your legs, letting your big toes lengthen away from your hips. Drop the pubis down into the ground as you hug the belly gently into your spine. With the inhalation, slowly lift the shoulders and head away from the floor in such a way that you feel your upper back stay wide and the back of your neck stays long. The chin is tucked in, and you're not pushing the floor away so much with your hands as you're using the strength of your back to lift yourself into this gentle back bend. And breathing, inhaling, and on the exhalation, extend through the crown of the head as you lower back down to the floor. Turn your head to one side, taking a nice full breath. Notice how you feel. And then bringing the hands back up beneath the shoulders, stepping into your hands to lift through the table position, through hands and knees, and then just move your buttocks back toward your heels in what we call child's pose. The head can rest on the floor, or if your head doesn't quite reach the floor, then you can stack your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. And the spine lengthens the opposite direction. Just breathe and feel. Notice how internal experience has changed through the sequence of postures. Turning over to your back body, resting on the spine with the knees bent, feet underneath the knees, hip distance apart. Extend the arms up over the head so that the arms are by your ears, palms facing the ceiling this time. We're going to come into a very gentle bridge. So stand into your feet. Begin by dropping your lower back onto the floor, just like we did with the pelvic rocks, and lift the buttocks up away from the floor. This time, however, continue to stand into your feet so you can lift your entire body up away from the mat. So you'll be resting on your feet, your shoulders, your arms, and the back of your head. Breathing, noticing what this is like, and then lifting your heels away from the floor, stepping up onto your toes. Slowly roll your spine back down to the floor. As the buttocks come to rest, bring the knees into the belly, giving yourself a nice big hug. And then take the soles of the feet back down onto the floor, where, with the knees bent, putting the hands behind the head, letting the elbows point out to the sides like butterflies, we'll take a spinal twist. Remembering that if you're working with any kind of disc problem in your back, you'll want to take a very, very small twist, if any at all. Really listen to your body. So we're going to inhale, and on the exhalation, draw both the knees gently to the side. Let them drop slowly to the right. Turn the head to look over the left elbow. Taking a moment to just attend to any areas of the body that may feel tight or resistant. And then with an inhalation, bring the knees back up into the center. Bring the head to the center. Exhaling in place, notice any difference between the left and the right sides of the body. And now we'll inhale, and on the exhalation, we'll allow the knees to drop down to the left as you turn to look over your right elbow. Full, easy breaths into the body, letting go of any unnecessary holding. With inhalation, bring the knees back up into the center. The head comes back to the center as well. Exhale as you rest here in place for a moment. As the sacrum releases down, see if you can actually feel all the muscles around the spine uncurling from that twist. Maybe so, maybe not. We'll prepare for our final relaxation posture, so you may want to have those extra blankets or that pillow to put underneath your knees, especially if you feel any discomfort in your lower back as you lengthen out onto the floor. Turning your palms toward the ceiling, your hands are down by your hips. Open your arms out to the side so that you have about a foot between your hands and your hips. We'll be in this relaxation posture for a few minutes. When this period is over, I will ring the bell, and then there will be a gentle transition back into sitting. Very gently now begin to open your eyes. Raise your arms over your head and gently stretch, wiggling your fingers and toes. And if it is appropriate for you, rolling over to one side or the other and drawing your knees up. Rest there for just a moment. And then using your arms to press up, slowly come back up into a seated posture. And this concludes the floor mindful yoga sequence.